What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Love After Lockup Season 2, Episode number 31, you guys. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. I was going to do the video yesterday, but I got busy. I helped a friend move, some wash and dryer out of her apartment. As you can see, I have 2 Band-Aids on my finger. That's because I got my finger stuck between the dolly and the washing machine, so we're here now. So, let's go ahead and just jump into the video. Alright, you guys, so we're going to start up with Gloria and Alex. So we see Alex, and Gloria is 25 minutes after he's gotten released from prison, and Alex is serenading Gloria. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So then he tells Gloria, he has 5 grants of probation, which means he cannot have a computer because he could create illegal documents. He can't have access to a lot of things. Because if he does have access to anything that can be used for criminal intent, he can go back to jail for a potential of 5 years. I'm like, ooh, interesting. So then, she's talking about them planning their wedding. Alex, however, is not on that same tip that Glorieta's on. Alex is on the tip of just having fun with her for the time being. And then, he asked her, like, so what would you do if a girl were to flirt with me? Like, we go to a bar and a girl flirts with me, because it's like, it's gonna happen. She's like, oh, is that so? He's like, yeah. She's like, well, I beat a bitch ass. I'm like, Gloria, you don't look like you're the type to beat a bitch's ass. Like, just saying, you don't look like you're that type to whoop somebody's ass. So then we see Gloria and Alex. They go to a hotel, and they're at the hotel, so to speak, to turn up. I'm like, y'all there to fuck. That's what y'all there to do. And so, Gloria is like, okay, so I have dinner plans for us. And Alex is like, oh, I don't want to go to dinner. I want to stay here, chill, drink, watch movie, do whatever. She was like, but, okay. She catered to what he wanted. And I'm just thinking to myself, and then she's talking about how she wants to be wined and dined before she has sex with him. I'm like, bullshit, Gloria. You're going to have sex with him regardless. Talking about she's been, celibate for 5 years. Well, you've been celibate for 5 years, but in 5 minutes, you're going to be giving up the puss to Alex over there. And then we see Alex, he asked one of the producers for a phone. I'm like, who is Alex about to call? Alex told us who he's about to call. His ex-girlfriend that he's been knowing since he was in high school. Her name is Juliana. And, he and Juliana have been through a lot together. They've been through addiction, and, they broke up. But then, she reached out to him, I guess, when he was in prison, and they've been in contact ever since. He did tell her, like, I'm just calling from a phone. Don't call this number back. Once I get a phone, I'm going to call you. I'm like, ooh. This is another Megan, Michael, and Sarah situation, minus the baby and minus the wife. But it's another Megan, Michael, and Sarah situation. You know what? I actually miss Megan, Michael, and Sarah. At least they had some drama. Clint and Tracy, Goddess, they had some drama. Marcelino and Brittany. Actually, I can do without Marcelino and Brittany. And Lizzie and Scott. Motherfucking Lizzie and Scott, and motherfucking Megan, Michael, and Sarah, and motherfucking Clint and motherfucking Tracy. I wonder if Tracy's still in jail down here. I'm gonna have to look up Tracy and see if she's still in jail here. Cause ooh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look Tracy up. I'm really gonna have to look Tracy up. But you guys, we're gonna move on. All right, next we got Lacey and John. So this picked up where last week's left off was when Lacey went to the prison to see John. So she goes there and she's like, you look very sexy. And I'm like, it's all about looks for you, isn't it? You're not sexy. You look deformed, bloated, and botched. So she says, the kids are ready to see you. Your little buddy, he's asking about you. And do you still want to take the DNA test? He's like, yeah. And then she tells him, well, I've been talking to another guy. And, I have feelings for him. I didn't mean to have feelings for him. And he's like, have you had sex with him? She says, no, we haven't had sex. He says, I don't believe you. She says, but we haven't had sex. But again, I just did not expect to have feelings for him, and I didn't mean to have feelings for him. And I don't know where this is gonna be, what this is gonna mean for us. I'm just like, Lacey, shut the fuck up. She gets on my nerves. So then we see her, she meets up with her friend, and she tells her, well, I saw John, and things didn't go well with John. I told him about Shane, but I didn't tell him the extent of my relationship with Jane. And the friend was like, so who do you care more? Who do you? She's like, I care about both of them. She's like, but who do you want to be with more? I have a feeling she wants to be with Shane more than she does John. But Lacey is incredibly stupid to me. And then her friend tells her, you can't string these two guys along. And I definitely agree with that because if neither one of them have cheated on her, I don't understand why she's stringing them along. And she's like, but guys do it all the time to girls, and no one ever says anything about it. Which that is true, Lacey. And it's a double standard. Like, I'm not going to sit here and judge you for doing what a guy does because I would be a hypocrite. So I'm an equal distributor. Like, I'm judging you. I'm not even judging you. I just think that you're stupid. And the real reason why I say that she's stupid is because you're not taking your kids into account with this. Like, yes, with John, you know John. And your kids know John. But with Shane is a complete stranger that your kids don't know. And, that's my whole thing when it comes to Shane. And like her best friend said, or whoever chick was, you shouldn't be stringing two guys along. And I feel the same way like with Michael, Megan, and Sarah. I didn't feel Michael was right for stringing along Sarah or Megan, although both of them were incredibly stupid. Hella stupid. But it's the same with her. Now, the guys and the roles in this one, the guys are both visibly upset and they want her to make a choice. Because John definitely told her she needs to make a choice. And Shane also kind of said the same thing too. But when it came to Michael, Megan, and Sarah and Megan were not trying to make Michael make a choice. They knew he was bouncing in between those two, but they didn't care. They were more upset with the other person instead of him. So I like in this situation that the guys, although John is not happy about Shane, he's focusing all of his energy on Lacey's dumb behind. And instead of trying to be like, oh, when I got a job, I'm going to check that dude that's with you. I mean, he did say some things about Shane, but it was all about her and nobody else. So I respected that aspect. And we're going to move on. All right, so next we're going to move over to Angela and Tony. So we see Angela, she's with her friend Tommy. They're going out to look for, what's his name? Tony. So they go to Tony's job. She's talking about his supervisor. Her name is Amy. She's like, she feels like there's something more going on between Tony and Amy. And I'm like, unless Amy is a much younger version of yourself, I don't believe Tony's doing anything with Amy. So they get there and she's like, Amy, I know you don't know me, but are you Amy? She's like, yeah. She's like, do you know Tony? She's like, yeah, I know him. So then Angela is talking to her and she's like, let me look at these notes to make sure I have everything. So Amy's, because she was like, does he, he works here. She's like, the houseboy? She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, she's like, he doesn't work anymore. And then Angela's, asked her like, I know he's hiding out with you. And she's like, you think I'm hiding him out? Oh, good Lord, no, she says. So then Angela goes into this thing about, she's like, I know you think you two have a thing with each other. She's like, you think I have a thing with Tony? And then when I looked at Amy, I'm like, you think Amy got a thing with Tony when Tony doesn't even want to touch you, but you think he got a thing with Amy? Like, you're in this tooth, that long ass tooth you got, and then Amy is missing a tooth and has a long tooth. I'm like, what the fuck? But I was dying laughing at those two. Because she kept saying that, she felt like they got a thing. And Amy's like, I don't even know him. And then she said, she told Tommy, see, she's lying. She said she doesn't know him. But a minute ago when I asked her, she said she knew him. She says, I do know him because he works here. But outside of here, I don't know Tony. I don't know him. So then Angela, all big and bad, and getting her face, she's like, girl, you got to get out you better get up out my face. You can go to the hospital. You can go to the jail. You can go anywhere else. But what you're going to do is get out of my face. And I'm like, ooh, listen to Amy getting a little buck when when Angela left, she's talking about, I'm taller than her. I done saw plenty of tall people get their asses beat by some short people. So tall and short don't mean a bitch ass thing. Tall and short, big and small, it don't mean shit. Like I saw some big people get their asses beat by some little people. So yeah, Angela, just because you taller than her does not mean that Amy wouldn't body rock your ass. It does not mean she would not body rock your ass. And then, she's asked her the last time that she saw him. Amy's like, I haven't saw him in 4 days because he's gotten fired from here. And I bet you that's why Tony's hiding out. Because I think the conditions of the halfway house is You have to work. Like, you have to have a job. That's actually the conditions of getting out of prison. You have to have a job. Like, you have to pay your probation fees and everything. So Tony is hiding out because motherfucker lost his goddamn job. So then we see Angela and Tommy. They go to a diner or a restaurant, and she's just feeling played. I'm like, you should feel played because he doesn't want you. So then, there's a waitress there, and she said, and Angela's like, well, if I show you a picture of someone, can you tell me if you know him? She's like, yeah, I know him. She says, he's coming here all the time. She says, have you saw him lately? She said, well, he hasn't been in here today, but when he does come in here, he flirts with all the girls in here. She's like, do you have his number? Did he give you his number? She says, no. She said, I'm not interested in him like that. And like, Angela believes everybody wants Tony. I think you know at this point that Tony's not that interested in you. I think Angela's finally got the grasp of it, the severity of it, that Tony is just not that into you, my love. You ain't my love, but I'm just saying he's just not that into you. So, they leave, and then once they leave, Angela gets a text from the man that called her, I guess, saying that Tony has been arrested. I'm like, ha! You sat there and went off on Amy. You thought this black chick was messing with him, and I'm like, girl, you really think this woman is messing with Tony? Broke down looking behind. Now she ain't too shabby herself, but come on now, really, Angela, really? You're that desperate? You're that insecure? Cause that's really what it is with Angela. Angela's insecure. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Angela is insecure as fuck. All right, so next we are gonna move over to Cheryl and fucking Josh. So we see Cheryl. She is meeting Josh's nieces, and she is excited about it. And I'm like, are you serious? You do have 3 kids that you should be excited to go home to, right? You're not worried about your kids? Not a little bit? Not this much? Not this much? Like, you ain't worried about your kids? You're more excited to meet his nieces. His nieces? Like, I'd be like, can I go home? Like, I'd be like, you know what? We can figure out what's gonna go on between us, but I gotta go back home to my kids. Like, my kids. The kids that came out of your vagina. Your vagina. You a vagina. I'm thinking about somebody Rich from Love and Hip Hop when she told Rich rubbing pennies in. But like, these are your flesh and blood kids, and you are more excited to meet his nieces than you are to go home to your actual vaginally born children. There is something seriously wrong with Cheryl. But she's not, however, excited to see his mama Tina after the last time that they had that conversation. So they're talking about how they want to have kids, but Josh is like, he wants to wait until they're established because her life is in Texas, his life is wherever the hell they are. She was like, and what else did she say? Oh, she said that they don't have any birth control, so they just using a pull-out method. I'm like, the pull-out method is nothing. You can get pregnant. It's not actual sperm. It's the semen. Like, Cheryl is stupid as shit. Cheryl is dumb in some aspects. And then, she's talking about, oh, so I'm going to go get my wedding dress on Wednesday. He said, no, don't do that. Hold off on that. She's like, why? He was like, why are we in a rush to get married? He said, I just got out of jail a few days ago. And she got mad because, she said, you made all these promises when I was in jail. I don't think the man meant that as soon as he got out of jail, that y'all was going to go run and get married. You just met his family. He has not met your family. He ain't even met your fucking kids. You have not introduced your kids to this man. And you're ready to marry him within 3 days? Like, I question these women with their kids. Like, I question Cheryl, her parenting, and I question Lacey's parenting. And I'm questioning it more so because of the fact that you guys are willing to bring men into their lives that they don't necessarily 100% know. Like, I just couldn't do that. Like, especially with Lacey. Lacey has a daughter. Like, you have a daughter. I mean, and molestation and rape can happen with boys and girls. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying Josh or Shane would do that, but you don't know these people. They were in prison. You don't know them, so I just can't grasp them wanting to bring complete strangers who just got out of prison around their kids. And I'm not judging anybody who's been to prison because I have family members that have been to prison or still in prison. And one of them, he got out of prison and went right back to prison. What a dumbass. What a complete dumbass. How the fuck do you get out of prison after being in there for almost 20 years, and you go back for another 40. Another fucking 40 years of your life. And you're already in your 40s. So you're going to die in prison more than likely. Because you're not eligible for parole until... When is it? When is he? He's eligible for parole about the time he'll be 60 or 60 years old, I believe. I think he'll be 60 when he's eligible for parole. What a fucking dumbass. Dumb as fuck. But we're going to move on. Alright, so next we got Vincent and Amber. So Amber and her friend Michelle, they want to meet up with Vincent. You know, get a feel for Vincent. Get Vincent drunk so that Vincent can tell them what he's really up to. And I'm like, I don't 100% think Vincent is up to a whole lot. And the fact that they think that Vincent is using Amber for an opportunity, I'm like, hello, pot, meet kettle. Because I feel like that's what Amber is doing. Like, Amber is using him as well. I don't know what I don't know what Vincent is gaining from this, but I do know what Amber's gaining from. She got a bed. I mean, he could do a lot for her, and I'm pretty sure she could. I really just don't. I just don't know what she could do for him because I'm still baffled about the fact that he adopted Puppy. And then she's talking about her friend asked him, "Is this like a tax write-off?" How? How could that be a tax write-off? How could that be a tax write-off? That's a good one. Because I really don't know that. But, you know, the friend starts questioning him, and Amber gets up and walks away to let them talk. So then the friend asks him, so she's like, have you ever lied? Are you a lie? He says, no. She says, oh, but you're down here for a job. And then he's like, oh, yeah, that. Well, I guess I didn't phrase that correctly. No, you didn't phrase it correctly. But I don't think that Vincent meant any malice with that. I think what it is the fact that Vincent's family might not agree with him being with an ex-con. So he told his grandmother that, hey, I'm doing a job, instead of actually telling her that he's with his fiance. But the fact that they just want to say that Vincent is using Amber, I can't get with that. Cause then Michelle questions him about writing 10 inmates. And then she asked him, like, what was it about Amber? He said it was her writing style. And it was just everything about her. So then, he also says that they have a very strong connection. And so then Amber comes back and he tells Amber, like, you know what, if you feel like I'm using you or doing anything malicious towards you, he apologized to her. So then Amber and Michelle go outside for a smoke. He comes out there. He's like, I hope you believe that I'm sorry and I'm not trying to do anything to hurt you. And Amber's like, she just is not sure. I'm like, you're not sure because you know you're not in love with him. You know you're in love with Puppy. Like, yeah, that's why you're not sure. Like, come on, just be honest with the man. Be honest. Tell him, I love Puppy. I don't want you. I just needed some money from you. And that would be easy and simple. Alright, you guys, and lastly, Andrea Elementary. This might be kind of quick to get through. Andrea called Lamondre. She's not quite sure of what the relationship is with Lamondre because she has not gotten a definitive answer from Lamondre or his legal team about when Lamondre is going to get out. And I'm like, now his lawyers should be able to tell you when he's getting out because that's their job, to work for their client to try to get him out on, get him out early release. So it might not be the lawyers. It might be Lamondre telling the lawyers, don't tell her everything. Like, let me tell her, but let me tell her what I want to tell her. That could be the case. You ever think about that, Andrea? And then you've been in jail multiple times because you got like 15 million mugshots. So you should know how jail works, Andrea. But she's talking about how she's been down with him for 2.5 years, and again, she just doesn't know what's going on. So she tells him that she can't continue to rock with him, and he wants her to stick it out with him. I'm like, nigga, what? You want her to stick it out with you, and you don't know when you get out of jail because he's still, even when she was saying she hasn't gotten a clear answer. He still was not giving a clear answer to her. So And she just finally had to say, you know what, I'm not happy and I'm ready to leave. He's like, well, I don't want you to leave, but if you feel like you need to leave, then that's what you got to do. And I guess they breaking up with each other. But you guys, that was the episode. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Let me know what you guys think about Lacey with this John and Shane situation. Let me know what you guys think about Cheryl and Josh and her wanting to get this wedding quickly. And let me know what you guys think about Angela and fucking Tony. But let me know what you guys think about the whole episode in general. So leave your comments, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop any videos, and I will see you guys later. I have to do Power tonight and Married to Medicine. So until then, later guys.